He is the Puff Daddy of SMH. He is the man that started it all. So please put your hands together again. Warm round of applause for David Grenier.
Hello, folks, and thank you so much for coming. This is the debut show for our 2012 class. We have 8 comics that you're going to see for the first time, so please let's give them a big round of applause. 8 comics. And then we're going to take a short intermission, and we have some other comics. We also have your headliner. She plays all around the world, Tanya Lee Davis. Let's give her a big hand. She'll be hilarious. And like I say, we are so thrilled that you've come to join us. As you know, we teach stand-up comedy to folks with mental illness as a way of building confidence and fighting public stigma. I myself have a mental illness, and one of the things that they keep telling me is that I have to keep healthy, take care of my health. So I recently went in for a cystoscopy, which is a rather unpleasant, I won't go into it, but they give you this little pamphlet that describes the procedure, and it says, you will be asked to strip naked and put on a gown. And I'm like, okay, good, because I prefer a strapless with high heels and a push-up bra. And then it gets kind of weirder. It says, you will be awake and aware of being touched. And I'm thinking, whoa, most people have to pay $200 for that. I mean, thank goodness for MSP. What a great plan. But I like to think of myself as this kind of socially conscious, environmentally, health conscious kind of guy. But the problem is I love bacon cheeseburgers, and I don't want anyone to know, because I'm afraid they'll think I'm a hypocrite, which I am, of course. But I have this constant conversation in my head. Part of me says, it's wrong to kill animals. And the other part says, oh, screw it. It's their fault for being so delicious. But there's this diner near my place, where you can get this burger for $10, served by a middle-aged waitress. Then there's this other bistro about a block away, where you can get the same burger for $20, served by a hot young waitress. So you're paying $10 for the waitress. And I think that is totally wrong, because when you're middle-aged, the fantasy that a gorgeous, hot young babe wants you is worth at least $25. But I'm really concerned about what we've been doing to the planet. I keep reading that now there's all this space junk out there, like space junk that we've sent up there. And I think we should turn space into a zero-gravity landfill. And to make it more realistic, we could send up flocks of seagulls with little oxygen tanks. And apparently they're thinking of colonizing the moon. And I'm thinking, something, if I want to live somewhere uninhabitable, I'll just move to Edmonton. But the universe, the universe is huge. And in the big scheme of things, each one of us is completely insignificant. But we each feel like we're the most important thing out there. In other words, we're all delusional. The only sane people are the depressives who think they don't matter. But being delusional, it makes us happy. And we have a great tool for developing our delusions of self-importance. It's called therapy. And once you've been to enough sessions, you're crazy enough to be normal. But I think, why stop there? I'm developing other delusions that will make me happy. So I now believe that my life has meaning, that the government knows what it's doing, and that there really are 2 scoops of raisins in a package of Kellogg's Raisin Bran. But I love doing comedy. The thing about comedy, though, is you always know when you're having a bad set, because the other comics always come up to you and they go, ooh, tough crowd. And I'll be like, was it me? Was it my material? And they're just like, no, tough crowd. And I remember the very first time I did stand-up comedy, it was terrible. You know how there's the difference between, we're laughing with you and we're laughing at you? Well, guess which one I got? Yeah, neither. And there were, even though the audience was silent, you could hear all the machines in the background making noise like, and tss, and you suck, get off the stage. Yeah, it was pretty weird. It was, and you know, this might be a little too much information, but it was kind of like my last prostate exam. It was embarrassing, it was painful, there were other people watching, but these people were laughing. It was kind of, but, you know, comics hate to bomb. They hate to bomb. And my version of hell for comics would be an eternity spent playing to an audience of corpses while a group of other comics looks on and goes, "Whoo, tough crowd." But we're always looking for ways to promote stand-up for mental health. And people have all these great ideas for us. They're like, you know, people come up to me, "Oh, you guys should do a show with Jerry Seinfeld." I'm thinking, right, I'll just call him up. "Yeah, Jerry, I teach a course for people with mental illness on how to do comedy, and we think you're really cool. Can we come over to your place?" Hello? Hello? I mean, you'd have to be crazy to think that Seinfeld would waive his $10,000 or his $100,000 performance fee to, you know, do a gig with us. Then again, I am crazy, so maybe I should give him a call. But the other thing that really bugs me is that, you know, there's celebrities, like they get paid like $50,000 to come to a conference and talk about their mental illness. I mean, heck, I'll do it for free. I don't need a conference. I mean, I'll do it in the shopping lineup, on a bus, in the men's room. I don't care. No, thank you. That's great. I just have to wait. You know, it's like, yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate that. You should come to more of my shows. But I'm also an author, and I wrote this book a few years ago called The Happy Neurotic, and I have to say it's an amazing book, and I know that because just today, this guy bought a copy, and he read the first chapter, and he had this really powerful experience. Yeah, he wanted his money back. But I'm also writing another book. It's a self-help book for pessimists. It's called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Too bad you'll never be one. And I saw this other book. It's amazing the kind of books that people write. The book was titled, How to Sleep with a Woman You've Just Met. I'm thinking, this is disgusting, especially after I read it 15 times. And there was one chapter that said, it was titled, How to Dump a Woman Easily. I'm thinking, yeah, like the guys who read this book will ever get the chance. And then there was another chapter titled, How to Satisfy a Woman. I'm thinking, yeah, leave her alone. Anyhow, folks, before I get the show rolling, I would like to say that we want to dedicate this show to Ardell Fitzpatrick Brophy. She has been a huge driving force behind Stand Up for Mental Health. She's just a wonderful person, great human being. She couldn't be here tonight because she's in the hospital, and I just wanted to say thank you, Ardell. We're thinking of you, and I just want to give her a round of applause because she's just been awesome. Please keep it going for your next comic, Mary Ev Anderson.
That's one way of making the weight disappear. I've been single for a while, but I keep that little truth to myself. I just tell people I live with a good-looking blonde. No need to mention she has 4 paws. So my dog Ruby and I go for a walk every day. I'm getting a sore neck from wearing the leash. Actually, Ruby's much better behaved than I am. I guess it would help if I were more obedient, but I'd have to roll over, sit on command, and stop humping other dog owners' legs. Ruby is the classic doggy rags to riches story. She was born in Mexico. Her father was a handsome, pure... Let's try that one again. Her mother was a poor but beautiful Chihuahua. Her father was a handsome purebred. A real Latin lover. It was very romantic for the 11 seconds that it lasted. But her daddy left and Ruby was a love child. How to support herself? She tried working in a Mexican restaurant. but it's hard rolling burritos when you lack opposable thumbs. When I met her, she was playing in a mariachi band. There she was, wearing a fancy embroidered sombrero and shaking maracas in her front paws. But they fired her when her howling was out of tune. There was one small problem. Ruby had gotten so good at begging she was charged with extortion. After a madcap 5-country chase by the authorities, she took refuge in Canada. She fit right in here, she's so politically correct. She's no mutt, she's culturally diverse. Look what you made me do. Pardon me, I really hope this wouldn't happen. Let's see, I'm just going to play cards up here for a while. Oh yes, this is, why would I blank out on this one? A servant me caters to her every whim. Ruby feasts on doggy delicacies such as organic raw venison, free-range chicken breast drizzled with cold-pressed oil of garbage. From the streets to luxury, wouldn't you know it, my dog's done better than I have. And speaking of streets, driving would be so great if it weren't for all the other drivers. True story, a 21-year-old woman on Canada's worst driver had had 30 collisions. They're called accidents, she said. That's because they're accidental. With an attitude like that, she might as well have said they were acts of God. But if so, God's a terrible driver. It's your laughing that's doing it, you know. You really should pipe down. I think I'm a good driver. Just don't ask any of the people I've killed. I used to have road rage. I'd jump out of my car and berate people. But the McDonald's drive-thru attendants didn't appreciate it. And the other drivers just thought it was because the food was so bad. I'm a recovering hoarder. Science has discovered black holes which swallow up vast amounts of matter. Sounds like my apartment. It'd be great if there was an Olympics for hoarders. There could be events like high jump over the bird cages and find the front door. To use another metaphor, my apartment is like an archaeological dig. Point at a pile, pick a layer, and you could find out what was on my to-do list for a given day, month, and year, who sent me greeting cards, and how many arrowheads I made. It's not like I have 29 dead cats in my apartment, though. More like 42. Actually, I collect newspapers. I use them to mummify the cats. I may have come up with a positive way to think about my hoarding. Let's see what you think about this. I'm proud of my accomplishments. Some people merely climb mountains. I create them.
Okay, please welcome Kathy Russell to the stage.
Kids growing up dream about success, fame, and riches. Well, in my family, we mostly dreamt about being adopted. I came from a rather large family with 5 brothers. It sucked. It meant I had to share a room most of the time, along with my clothes, my makeup, and my boyfriends. My brother just didn't know when to quit. You could say we have kind of our own version of the United Nations. An alcoholic, a gambler, a sex addict, and a psychotic. And that's just one brother. He's been to the pawn shop so many times, they've given him a frequent flyer card and his own express lane. Growing up, my parents really couldn't afford to buy us many toys, so my brothers and I played a lot of hide and seek. with my mom. The difference with our game is we never want it to be found. My mom was such a bad cook that her pork chops were registered as dangerous weapons. In fact, the last time I saw her burgers, they were on the ice at a Canucks game. Growing up, I was always nervous and anxious that that's a depression. So my doctor suggested a combination of counseling and drug therapy. And by the way, have any of you ever read the warnings they give you with those prescriptions? Seek immediate medical attention if you experience any of the following symptoms: blistering and peeling skin, vomiting with severe stomach pain, yellowing of the skin and eyes. I mean, really, at what point do I call my doctor or audition for a zombie movie? I'm depressed, not brain dead. I once called the suicide hotline and got a recorded message. Your call is important to us. All our agents are busy. Please remain on the line and one will be with you shortly. After 10 minutes of listening to Staying Alive, which by the way would kill anybody, I finally heard, all our agents are busy. Please remain on the line or press 9 to leave a message. Thank God I wasn't calling about anything important. Can you imagine calling heaven and getting a recorded message? Please listen to the following options. If you need prayer, press help needed. If you need absolution, press confessions now. If you're calling to report a death in the family, you're hooped. Due to skyrocketing costs and lower admissions, we are no longer accepting new applicants. Please press 666 to Howard. Oh yeah, I just got my mammogram reminder notice. I can hardly wait for that appointment. I'm sure that's where the expression roll-ups came from. I mean, seriously. Once a technician has flattened your boobs like pancakes, and your nipples have been dragging on the floor, how else do I pick up these suckers? And like most women, I dread that annual pap smear. Laying on a cold table naked, a sheet the size of a handkerchief, and your legs spread eagle. At this point, my doctor usually tries to break the silence by engaging in a conversation. She'll ask me things like, how are you? What's new? How are you feeling? At one point, during one of my examinations, she told me she couldn't find my cervix. And after several awkward minutes, I said, what do you mean? Have I been robbed? Should I be filing a police report? After all, you were the last person to see it. Thank you.
And before our intermission, I would like to introduce you to the president of our board and one of our Stand-Up for Mental Health alumni. Please welcome Susan Hansen.
God, he's making fun of me already. So how about that
getting some nice weather, aren't we? It's about time. The only problem is I gotta get up about 2 hours earlier every day. I'm part Italian. I gotta shave from head to toe. When, I don't know how, do I have any Italians in the audience? If I had a right applause, any Italian? One or two. Are you actually full Italian or just part? Wrong answer. When you trust me, someone marries an Italian, you're now a full-fledged Italian, okay? For years I thought Thompson was an Italian last name. I was the only one in class. They're like, well, what nationality is your father? I'm like, well, what do you mean? They said, well, he's got red hair and blue eyes. I said, well, don't all Italians have red hair and blue eyes? So I will tell you a little bit about myself. It took a long time to come to this conclusion. It wasn't something I was really willing all that to come forward with. I'm gonna do it now. I've been doing it for about 6 months now. I'm bi, people. I'll take numbers later. However, bipolar. Sorry, see how I just kind of reeled you in and pulled it away. Some of the symptoms of bipolar are, let's see, irritability, quick temper, sleeping lots. So according to Google, I was either bipolar or a cat. My only clue was I really didn't like playing with that string and I had some really serious issues with pooping in a box. Trust me, you poop in a box just one time, all of a sudden you got this huge attitude problem. Sorry, Mom. I actually received a diagnosis of OCD and ADHD at the same time. I wasn't really sure what to do with it, because all I know is I still don't finish anything I start, but at least I'm really rigid about it. But one of the major things with mental is, if you don't know, is people seem to think that if you're standing up here, that when in normal life, they can ask you anything they want. Intrusive questions. I did have a gentleman come up to me from work, and he's like, so, like, how does your husband deal with all your constant highs and lows? And it's totally got to affect your sex life. I just kind of looked at him for a second, and I was like, I don't know what my husband has to do about my sex life. Really none of his business. I do have 2 kids at home. I have a boy and a girl. My son asked me, not that long ago actually, he wants to know why we named him Miles. I said, well, you know, it's a nice name, it's easy to remember. It was the name of the last kid that lived with us who didn't clean his room. He cleans the kitchen and the bathrooms now. If I play my cards right and start packing a suitcase, he cleans the garage for a week. He's so cute. He's 9, and he's the spitting image of my husband. It's really cute, like looks and personality. Probably explains why I don't like him very much. A grown? Really? No, I'm kidding. My daughter, luckily, she's a lot more like me. But at this point in time, with all the other stuff going on, I'm not liking her very much either. Her favorite color is pink. But plus, do we have any people in the audience, like grandkids, children, their favorite color is pink? Anybody? That's right, that's right. Her room is actually starting to look like something you drink when you're nauseous. I actually had more kid jokes, but I've actually gotten away from telling them. I actually did a show one night. I was in Vancouver. And a woman made a point of coming up to me after, this is a true story, and she felt that my jokes were disrespectful and they were inappropriate towards my children. I think it's because I gave out their names and addresses. But she said she was going to call social services herself, and she was going to look into having my kids taken away. I really didn't know how to take that. I was like, well, thank you for that. I walked to my car, and I sat in my car for a few minutes, and then after a few minutes I was like, oh my God, like, what if she really knows where I live? And I actually started to cry, and I was shaking, so I thought, oh my God, there's a number I could have called and had my kids taken away. I've been trying to get them taken away for years, and it turns out it's nowhere near as easy as you might think. Trust me, that social services on speed dial now. Mama needs a night out, who are you gonna call? Social services. I was talking to a friend of mine on the phone the other day, and she actually said that she felt I was becoming apathetic. I told her I really didn't care, and I hung up. You'll get it later. So, on a little bit more serious note, I've actually been on a huge journey of weight loss. I'm down about 70 pounds. Wow. Yeah, I've lost all this weight. My ass still looks like it lost a bit with a cheese grater. Seriously, if I want to wear a dress, like, it took some serious planning on my part with some duct tape and dental floss. So if I was to remove these clothes right now, quite an image, I know, and go charging across these carpets, I'd have one hell of a rug burn on my ass. It's okay, I go to CrossFit, so. By applause, we have any CrossFitters here at all? One! Awesome! Looking after your health, people. I do go to CrossFit. It's, the fitness is a little more intense, it's a little bit insane. So I was actually, we don't call them instructors, they're coaches. They're like these sculpted, beautiful gods and goddesses. Oh my God, I could just plunk any one of them ass first into a gluten-free cone and just lick that chisley treat all day. Oh, sorry. Like, you know, I thought it was a myth that beautiful people make sweating look sexy. No. These people make dry heaves look sexy, okay? Like, these are the people that go to gym because they want to. The rest of us are like, oh crap, I gotta go to the gym. These are the ones who are going, I gotta go to the gym. And I'm the one medicated. Come on. I've set some pretty hefty goals for myself. I want to be able to crush walnuts with my ass by next Christmas. I bet it'd make me way more popular with the in-laws. Hey there, Mom. Care for some nuts on your salad? I'm actually allergic to nuts, but I would totally go through an ass rash just to see that woman just to see her take a couple. You enjoy that, Mom. So I have, ladies, are you ready for this? I have found the absolute best weight loss plan ever. I do a ton of baking. I don't eat any of it. I give it away to all my friends and family. So far, the rest of them are up like 40 plus pounds. I've never looked better. I will leave you on this, though. I love watching people at the gym when I'm there. Seriously, like, it's like watching them at the mall, right? Two guys the other day. They look like, I don't know what it is with guys. It's like a little bit of a penis wagging contest. Who's bigger? And dude, I can deadlift like 500 pounds. And the other one, I can deadlift 550. I'm thinking, whatever, dude. I can read. So that's it for me, ladies and gentlemen.
So remember, we're on the web, standupformentalhealth.com. Thank you. You've been a great audience. See you around.